All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Compete League. They are bringing you the Silver Competitive League qualifiers here. This is a long process tomorrow for any of these teams who were in the last game or who are just joining now. There is a losers bracket that will be hosted tomorrow for you guys to go and play in, so it's not over just yet. Hold your horses. But we are now going on into the picks and bans between these two teams. So without further ado, looks like that first ban coming out is going to be Jax. Very interesting ban. I mean, completely understandable because of the fact that he's got great split push capability. He has awesome one-on-one potential. And you have to send at least 2 people when it gets to late game, if he split pushes, to shut him down. So you can't do it on your own. Now for the second ban, we are going to see Braum getting taken out. That's the mustached man, the Poro Protector himself, and completely needed. Braum is one of those champions that if he is not banned, he must be picked. He's so strong with the wall, the bonus armor, the slow, the ults, everything that he has, his entire kit is designed around him being tanky, being a huge damage sponge for his team, and of course, baiting out ultimates to then start the fight. Now we will see Lee Sin getting taken out, as in the last game we watched him ravage the enemy. He was everywhere that he needed to be. He was spot on, tried to get the insects in, but there's no need when the rest of your team is going to slow the enemy enough for you to just get behind them and Dragon Rage them into your team. Vi also.
Absolutely. And there's so many things that a Lee Sin can do, and I really like the fact that he's banned out, especially against, say, I don't know, a lot of these people like to run very pick-heavy comps, and Lee Sin is a very pick-oriented jungler.
That's very true. Now the next ban was going to be Vi, and we had spoke about her before, but why ban Vi?
I mean, specifically, when you're talking to me, why ban Vi? I say it's entirely in that ulti. It's all about that one ability. Just no matter what front line you've got, Vi says, I want that person. And goes to it, knocks it up, puts some damage down on it, and if she can catch you alone, you don't get away. If she can catch you in a team fight, you better hope somebody peels for you. Along with the fact that she just synergizes so well with, I was gonna say Yasuo, but there's that ban down.
Absolutely, Yasuo gotten taken out. The wind wall from him stopping all projectiles is so strong, and if they picked Yasuo, they would have stopped the Nami wave right then and there. But we're not going to see him this game, and that last ban coming out was Kassadin. With his reworks still ban-worthy?
I would say yes. He's not the previously overwhelming dominating factor that he was. But with the new build paths that have come out for him, say the tanky Kassadin or the straight anti-magic Kassadin, he's still a very, very versatile pick and can easily snowball given the chance.
That's completely understandable, and hence why we will not see him yet today. So we will have for the Pink Dinosaur Club, Kale will be the very first pick getting taken up, and even through the recent changes, she's still getting picked up as a first pick. An interesting choice.
Yeah, see, a lot of the thing is, a lot of people say she's totally done now. Kale has been nerfed so many times throughout the entirety of League, and she's never been so done. The only nerfs that they really did to her were a minor AP ratio reduction on her E, and they reduced the amount of attack speed she has at start and how much she gets per level. It's gonna slow down the monster late game Kale that we're all used to, but it's not gonna stop it from coming.
That's true, and I mean, no matter how much you try to nerf, there's always going to be someone who still plays that character, and that's look like what we're going to see here today. And the counter to it, looks like they're going to be putting Orianna up against the Kale in the mid lane. Both are great champions.
Yeah, Oriana is a very safe laner, and I really like that whole mentality. You know, you pick Kale, she bullies people, so I'm just gonna pick Oriana and sit back.
Farm safely for days, shield yourself, and still clear the waves. No joke intended there. I'm sorry that it rhymed. But next will be up to the junglers that we saw in the last game really ran the pace of the game. We saw one team's jungler really make and break it while the other team kind of sat back and passively farmed. So we're going to have Elise and Evelyn that are going to be going up against each other for either team. Both are really strong.
Yeah, and both have really good clear times as well as ganking potential. I would say Elise's real ganking potential is heavier than Evelyn's ganking potential, simply because she brings more CC earlier. She brings percentage damage, and I guess, Evelyn doesn't have that. She has the whole, where am I? You can't find me. I could be anywhere. Prestige to her, but in an actual fight, she's only bringing real damage.
True. Now, Evelyn late game with the recent changes, you build her incredibly tanky. You get like a Blade of the Rune King, and you get a Randuin's, and you run into there and cause massive disruption, and still use Hate Spike to hit everybody. So there's one thing where Evelyn brings that late game, at least just as tanky, but it could end right in the laning phase, which brings you to the next, top lane. One of those things where you usually let those two do their own thing. Top lane's its own game, its own mindset. Everything in top is, there might as well be a 1v1 up there indefinitely. And that's where...
That's why I like top lane, because it's you against this guy all alone until the jungler decides to show up and totally screw that all up. It's kind of like disheartening to have the enemy's jungler just magically appear out of somewhere because, you didn't ward or whatever, but I like top lane because, you're all by yourself. You're fighting this dude. It's like a challenge of wills, if you will. And then this other guy comes in. It's like, no, why did you do that? I hate you.
I don't know if it's exactly like that, but we'll see Renekton once again being played up against the Jarvan. And Favor is going to go into Renekton. He's so tanky, so beefy, but Jarvan, just like you were saying earlier, your favorite thing is the I'm helping ultimates. We will have to see if he actually helps his team in this game here. But last but definitely not least is these bot laners that are going to be duking it out.
Yeah, and the thing I noticed about the bot lane is both of them are very oriented towards the late game. Tristana, you want hyper carry late game. Kog'Maw, you want hyper carry late game. Honestly, I don't expect much trading in the middle. I really don't.
True. Tristana's mid game is arguably one of the weakest for any AD carries due to the fact that her scaling is not the great. Deals the Phantom Dancer, whatever else she wants to, the attack speed for late game, she shreds opponents, but Kog'Maw does the same thing. I really feel it's going to come down to this Morgana and Nami to swing the tides of battle on who is going to win.
Absolutely, and I like the fact that, honestly, out of the two of them, in a non-duel situation, I would put my money on Kog'Maw, because not only does he deal very heavy, straight-up AD damage, he's also going to be dealing a lot of magic damage with his Caustic Spittle and... I forgot the name of the Q. There we go. That one. I don't know why I'm so bad with names. I'm just terrible at this game, I guess.
It's okay. That's why we cast the game, because playing is not necessarily our strong suit. But nonetheless, interesting for both these teams. Team fight-wise, you have the Jarvan-Orianna combo, which is so incredibly strong. Jarvan jumps in there, flag combos, Cataclysm. Then you have the Orianna ult on top of it. Everyone is sucked into the center. You can't run unless you're flashing away or using one of your cooldowns to save your life. And it's one of those things where Purple Team has to use it when it comes to team fights. If they don't, it is going to be a recipe for disaster because Blue Team, look at that. Nami wave. You have Elise for a single target guaranteed stun. arguably, as long as you can hit your skill shot. Renekton has that stun. Kayle for shred damage. Kog'Maw for shred damage. That front line of Elise and Renekton, if they can keep the enemy away, they're good. Protect the carries is going to be the name of the game here. Tristana for that late. Kog'Maw for the late. And team fights can really swing either way. No team easily beats the other one, like we may have seen in the past.
Yeah, this is very true. And honestly, the blue side kind of reminds me of the previous blue side with all of the shred oriented. And we've already actually seen one Kog'Maw here today. Hopefully this one produces better results. I really want to see Kog'Maw just go off.
We'll see. Go off? Were you trying to make a joke here because he's the Kog'Maw with the beautiful skin? Like the Chinese New Year?
Hush now. Hush now. We're not talking about this. I don't want to see him. I am not Freak. I am not Freak.
I have no words for you. Other than the fact that maybe we'll see an invade. You have the Morgana Snare. And Orianna with decent damage. Tristana with early game healing debuff. So if a heal is going to get used, it's going to basically be wasted. You could possibly burn the flash. They could go for it. The question is, do they?
Honestly, I don't think either team should invade because both of them are so well matched up. You know, unless Renekton takes his W first, all of the CC is going to be dead even. You've got Cocoon for binding. You've got actually a heal where there would be none on the opposing team, but I wouldn't necessarily say either one has the overwhelming level 1 that I would look for if I was going to invade.
That's very true, and looks like everyone kind of just spreading on out, playing nice and safe. No one wants to throw the lead here, per se. I mean, everyone starts out completely even. And one mistake in the early game can snowball it for the rest.
Yeah, and one thing I do like is that both of the supports actually went the same build this time. Last time we had a bit of a discrepancy, but it wasn't too major. This time we got both supports going Spell Thieves, Ward, 2 pots, and Yellow Trinket. However, the jungler for our blue side does have the early sweeper. I want to see if she's going to actually do anything with that, or if it's just going to be, I didn't feel like selling later and waiting on the cooldown.
It's one of those things. Sweeper's such a good item, but you have to use it to the maximum effect. You have to know, all right, top's warded. It's warded in this bush. You clear it, you walk away, and come back in a minute. You can't just clear the ward and not do something with it. As time and time again, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what I see like every jungler in solo queue do. It's like, oh, this was warded. Let me clear that out and not show back up for another 5 minutes. Oh, look, it's warded again. Let me clear that out. Not show up for another 5 minutes. Why is this always warded? I could swear I'm clearing these wards. You are. You're just not doing anything with the cleared ward.
Absolutely. As trade already going down for Kayle, Orianna's worrying about that farm. Kale's worrying about that damage onto her opponent. And between these two mid laners, identical builds. One's aggressive, one's going to be passive. I mean, just down the line, these teams have built the identical start.
Yep, and the only thing that's going to change this is strictly laning phases. There's no difference for the starting item. Create differences in the lanes is player skills itself.
That is definitely true. As in top, Jarvan pushing up very, very early, but again, not having to worry because Elise is down in the bot lane. Both these junglers choosing to not necessarily get that early gank, just farm it on up, try to hit 6, and that's become more of the way that jungler is. They power level as fast as possible, and then go for that gank.
Absolutely, and actually something I kind of want to touch on is the fact that they have Jarvan top, and he's about to take some really heavy damage in the top lane. Makes it out, has to burn his flash, definitely going to be going back and coming back with a teleport. Leave, Jarvan. What are you doing?
Jarvan is a man. He wants to stay around for the experience, and this is one thing that top laners often do is they overstay their welcome. You have the teleport, go home, teleport back in, because right now you're not doing anything. You're not going to get gold, you're going to grab your experience, that's fantastic, but if you teleport back, you're going to get it just as fast as well.
especially against a Renekton. When you're that low, you have to
Oh, the nice
bot
bubble
lane for
coming
it.
down. And that bubble was beautifully done. Morgana with the late spell shield could not capitalize overall, though, on for a kill potential. As both these mid laners sitting there, no mana. In top lane, Jarvan coming on back. Everything pretty calm start here.
Right. Like I was saying about that top lane, though, is against a laner like Renekton, you cannot just sit in lane at that low life, because if he sees you, he's just going to double dash through your minions, land a full 50 Fury combo on you, and you're going to be in the dirt faster than anything else. Mid lane gank, though, going down.
Trying to gank. They think they did see that Elise, so they chose to back on off. A good play. Evelyn just saying hello, but overall not wanting to commit anything here. Overall.
Right. Now, trying to get back to the original point before Jarvan started dying that I was trying to make. Never mind. Fight going down in mid lane again. Alright, just a little bit of a trade in mid lane. Quit messing with me, people. I'm trying to start things. Alright. Top lane. Jarvan has seen a resurgence since they changed some of the effects of his moves. I want to say his cadence got a lower cooldown, but doesn't shield quite as much. His passive procs more often, but for not as high damage.
Oh, as
and again,
we're going to see that
lane.
engage. Sin Theory forced to flash on away, and he's going to eventually die onto the red buff. The exhaust, though, very nicely done, is going to stop the Evelyn before she can get close enough. The flash from the Nami as well, saving their life. Not able to focus down a particular target. And the Pink Dinosaur Club, being blue team, walk on out with their
14
lives.
health on that Kog'Maw. The only thing you can even look at that situation is, I wish this was still the Ignite meta. That's the only thing going through my head at that point. But
that was insane. A simple miscall to not focus, and Evelyn feeling that she had the kill, walked away, and let Kog'Maw survive.
yeah, I don't think she really could have dove much further under that tower without the chance of giving the kill right on back. She already took 2 tower shots, so it was already at max damage going straight into her. And she's not very tanky at this stage. I mean, Spirit Stone, you don't take many tower shots with that. And with the Acathian surprise passive, it's probably a good idea to back off.
Oh, as there we see in top, Evelyn showing up to Peter97, who's going to be walking on away. Jarvan already on cooldown, can't do anything. Used his flagpole combo. So he's going to go on back and start farming.
Yeah, with Renekton already level 6, and neither person coming to gank him level 6, I really don't think he was very threatened. He obviously didn't feel the pressure. He didn't have to flash, he didn't ult, he just walked away. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? You having a great day?
Yeah. And that's the thing, when Renekton gets into a position like this where he is already ahead of his laner, he's confident, he knows that he could 2v1 if it came down to it. And now he's going to go on home with his 45 CS, extra money in his pocket, he's going to go spend it, and he's going to become a king.
And he's going back with 1,500 gold. I want to say he's going to pick up a pickaxe and longsword and a reju... No, that's going to get sold for a pie. What are you doing to me here? Doran's Blade instead of the longsword with a rejuve bead and a health potion. So he's definitely going forward toward that Tiamat, which we've been seeing oh so much lately. But what I was trying to say about Jarvan, now that you're finally safe and away from people, God, Jarvan, is with his passive, that extra 10% damage on first swing, what I have been told is the way you want to activate that is you want to lay down your Q first to get that armor pen and then hit it, because it adds extra damage because of the armor penetration. I want to see if it's actually doing that or not.
I do believe it does, as one of the things that Jarvan is so strong in the top lane with trading against other melees is the fact that he can just Q auto attack combo all day long and poke you on down, but he's been trying, now he's out of mana, and he pushes his lane where this is exactly where Renekton wants to be. He sits back, farms the wave, dives on in with Slice and Dice, and Jarvan could perish because of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm bringing it.
Oh, it's the beautiful bubble coming on in. There's the Elise showing up as well. The rocket jump is going to disengage out of that. A good binding will stop. The cocoon cannot connect, and a great disengage from Prestige Worldwide. Good job.
And honestly, I feel kind of safer now as their bot lane because I got the ulti out of... Oh, mid lane.
Is Orianna going to be duking it on? Kale does have the ult. There it is. It is going to get dropped very early. Orianna following it up does drop the ignite. Will it be enough? It's ticking on away. One more. And Kale survives on this day with her life.
So many close calls, but no first blood as of yet. But like I was saying, I feel safer now in the bot lane because Tristana doesn't have that jump ulti combo to just assassinate somebody right now.
They're going to see Peter going in on the ultimate, dropping down from Peter, doing that AoE damage. Peter walks back into it and picks up first blood. Good job on Good Cookies as a bubble comes down into bottom. Space Deadliest is going to get popped up. There's Morgana, does have the Soul Shackles. Does not choose to drop it on down as they're going to walk away. Bot lane for Prestige Worldwide, very low. Health pot's ticking. But Pink Dinosaurs, or Pink Dinosaur Club, overall on the short end of the stick, as they are down 1 kill. As we look into Good Cookie's going to be duking it out with Pawn Apple. Pawn Apple, is he going to flash on away? He does. Apple with a counter flash. The auto attack's going down. Hate Spike picking up the kill. Good Cookies now leading the way for his team 2-0 right now.
Yeah, and that is one of the things you do not want to happen, is Evelynn getting an early lead. She's already scary enough with the fact that you can never see her walk into your lane without a pink ward. But now she's got 2 kills walking into your lane without you seeing her unless you have a pink ward. I am not okay with this. I am not okay with invisible submarines walking into my lane like, sup dude, I'm here to kill you.
That is true, and when she chooses to go on back, she is going to be able to pick up that Lizard Elder, which is going to give her a nice increase to her damage amount. Every time Hate Spike comes out, what? 8 extra true damage ticking over 3 seconds? You're going to be in trouble.
Ooh, I like this idea. The Quill Coat is actually being built on Elise, so he's still going with that Ancient Golem build for Elise. I guess he's going to get his cooldown reduction from somewhere else to get those cocoons out just so fast. I mean, I've seen all too many people switch to Spectral Wraith. I really don't understand.
A lot of people are choosing the Spectral Wraith because it does more damage and gives her more sustain in the jungle. But she's building for a team, and that's what her team needs.
Fight bot lane.
See Evelynn coming on up. The binding does land on a Sin Theory. There's Soul Shackles as well. The rocket jump not going to connect. The flash on out. Soul Shackles does echo. Sin Theory is going to escape with his life as they are going to try to engage on her Tristana in that backline. Pwn Apple, who did show on up. A good ball from the Nami. Can they pick up the kill on a Good Cookies? There we see Elise picking it on up. One more auto attack, finally putting up some kills for the Pink Dinosaur Club as we see Nailstaker and Ori fighting it out there in the jungle area, or at the dragon area, but they're going to back on away. Both teams probably not the happiest out of that situation there. It could have gone worse, though.
And now, you see, I'm looking down the line, and I actually like what I'm seeing. This game is so much closer than the previous one. All the CS numbers are barely ahead. You've got, what, 23 in the mid lane, maybe 7 in the bot lane, and you know, these are not differences that are going to be so cataclysmic that they really amount to things later, but, you know, as opposed to the last game, everything is so much closer, everything is so much tighter, there is so much room for things to just explode right now. I'm really, really looking forward to this game.
And speaking of exploding, Kog'Maw going on back, has the Phage and the Sheen now built, as Peter dropping the ultimate in top, does not have Slice and Dice, so he is going to be stuck in there fighting with Jarvan. There's the ultimate coming out from Peter. He's trying to turn around, make something happen, but can he get the cooldowns to come up? He does use the heal, flashing on away. Good Cookies, not choosing to dive on in. Has minions there now, and could choose if the Renekton stays, but instead they're going to back on away, and Elise going to show up, try and save this top tower.
And Elise is going to come on up and try and relieve a little bit of pressure, soak up a little bit of minions, or maybe she's going to go on in. Okay, so maybe not. A little bit of a heart attack. But, hey, I like it. You know, coming in the lane. Show them I'm not scared of you guys. But mid lane's going down.
Oh, and Kale did bait out the Orianna ultimate. Very good job. Kale not scared at all, and the reason being is it's Kale. She can heal herself. She does great burst damage, shred damage, and Orianna, she's going to head on home now.
Yeah, and with Ori's ulti down, and also her flash down for a little while longer, I believe. Not sure how much longer that cost is.
Roughly
But with
10
bows
seconds.
down, it's so much more of an opening in the mid lane. I want to see at least go there now. There's no ulti. There's the flash is back now, but there's
At
an
this
opportunity there, and I want to see it get taken care of.
The best thing, the Orianna ultimate is on a very long cooldown. It's down. Go to the dragon. Bring the teleport from Renekton down from top. Force the dragon fight. You'll be good. The most you got to worry about then is a soul shackle and Cataclysm if Jarvan even chooses to follow.
This is true. And we finally see people checking these river bushes. I was watching it last game and nobody went into these bushes, and there was always a pink ward there.
Check the bushes, good
people.
cookies.
Check the bushes.
Getting engaged on that's true. Those bushes, all you gotta do is drop a pink, walk away. People never walk through it, and yet you get so much vision. As in top, these guys duking it on out like a bunch of Bash brothers. Peter bullying around Jarvan. Jarvan getting more assistance up in that top lane, and now mid has fallen as the Pink Dinosaur Club loses one of their towers. Prestige Worldwide securing a little bit more gold and putting them on a little farther in this lead here.
Yeah, and I like the fact that after that early bullying, Jarvan is still keeping up. There's a lot of people who say Jarvan is not meant to be a top laner. Da. He's only a jungler. No, Jarvan can fight. Jarvan can bully. Jarvan can get engaged on.
He can bully. He can fight. Just only against particular top laners, and Renekton being the top tier top laner right now, we're seeing Jarvan does not do well against the Renekton, even with assistance.
No, I would not say so.
Kale is going to get engaged on in the mid. There's Meekster. He is going to fall as that repel comes up from Elise. Can they pick up another one? The ultimate coming out from Good Cookies. Pwn Apple trying to run for his life. Fail flashing over the wall. A double kill getting picked up for this Evelynn here. And she is on a rampage. An absolute rampage in this game.
4-1-0 at 16 minutes. I cannot really imagine her being happier. I mean, I guess if she was 4-0-0, she'd be happier. But, 4-1 is still a really good place to be at 17 minutes into this game.
Absolutely. And it looks like we are going to see Prestige Worldwide picking up the Dragon, putting their gold lead to almost 4,000.
And just like the last game with the Jinx, I'm watching Tristana's build, and she's doing the same thing that Jinx did. She's building the BF sword, then the pickaxe, then the Vamp Scepter. The Vamp Scepter is probably going to stay there for a while. They just need it for the extra little bit of sustain that, Nami brings to their lane, so they need some for them.
Absolutely, as we see Jarvan fighting it out with Renekton in top, and this bot lane has really just been an absolute poke fest. Tristana can maintain her own, as Kog'Maw getting really aggressive. It's no longer a poke, he's going on in. Kog'Maw feels super confident right there and doing a good job with harass, as I don't think Prestige Worldwide was expecting it.
I don't either. There's a lot of people who misjudge Kog'Maw. There's a very early window in Kog'Maw's build where he does a lot of damage, and then he kind of peters out and deals more in the late.
Kale gets fought on in the mid using the ultimate, turning around, burning the Orianna flash. A good play. Kale still has her has her flash. Ori's flash is down. It was ballsy, but successful in the mid lane between those two.
So ult for ult and gains a flash for his troubles. I will take that trade any day. And now, what Kale needs to be doing is letting Elise know there is no flash, no ult mid lane, so they can come back and get that kill.
Absolutely, and it looks like just pushing up some minions there. One of the things, if your jungler ever ganks, try to push down the tower. You want to get these early towers to get this map pressure. Otherwise, you're stuck sitting in a mid game to a late game, which both teams accelerate at. So you got to make up that decision early on. Do we push? Do we sit back? And right now, both these teams sitting on back, other than mid.
Personally, the way I see it is with two late scaling top lane getting a gank.
They are going to be going on in. Will Peter get dove on? There's the ultimate coming out, putting down some damage on a Good Cookies. Jarvan with no mana, though. Once again, the second gank that we've seen in this top lane where Ev shows up, Jarvan can't do anything.
A word to the wise from someone who has been there. Do not like power dive the Renekton at any point for any reason. It's a bad idea. Like, unless you're coming with 3, 4, 5 people, you kind of want to leave Renekton once he gets under the tower.
You kind of have to leave Renekton when he gets under the tower. He's gonna be building up that Fury. He's gonna drop down the stun, call the Meek, gonna heal him up. And worst comes to worst, he's slicing dices. You're still stuck under tower. He walks out with the kills. We are going to look at Jarvan in the top. Overstaying is welcome. The Cocoon is going to land. Undead Ultimatum. He is going to fall as Peter, 97, finally getting a gank up in the top lane. And the Pink Dinosaur Club walk out with yet another kill in this game.
Yeah, that really needed to happen, because if you're looking at the CS, it started to kind of look like Jarvan was starting to beat up on Renekton. He was just out-farming him ever so slightly, but I want to say that was entirely due to just the amount of jungle pressure he's been receiving. Now that Elise is up top, Elise has gotten him that gank, everything is dead even with Renekton being up a kill. So I think now things are going to get a lot easier for him in the top lane.
They do find good cookies there. Ultimate is going to get burned down from Kale in the mid lane. That's a long cooldown, and Evelyn doing a good job. But now she's over at the race. Will she get engaged on? The answer is no.
Man, I'm sorry, but did you see that spider leap? That was beautiful.
Did you know that when Elise tosses out the caustic, the spider, if she uses her venomous bite, it follows whatever that target is?
I did not know
There's
that.
the Orianna ultimate landing on its 2 members, but the Ignite coming down, and Gooster Posey is going to fall right at the mouth of the entrance, and that's probably the last time we'll see that Orianna invading on in to the enemy by herself.
I did not know that about the volatile spiderling, and that clears a lot of things up, because that was pretty cool looking, but I had no idea why I did that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's time and time again where you're like, I'm alive, and all of a sudden you see crazy burst come out. It's not just because Elise does % of your HP as well as a base stat on top of it, but it's because that spiderling follows with her.
That explains oh so much. I really feel like I would have died less.
Is there the engage going in here? Good cookies. This is going to fall. Tristana sitting in the back, auto-attacking. No one's bothering her. Oh, but Kog'Maw shows up, putting the damage down. Has the red buff ticking. Not going to be enough. Instead, it turns for a 0 for 2 exchange in favor of Pink Dinosaur Club. A good fight that they needed.
And see, this is oh, Tristana, you were oh so low, my little lady. You almost got taken down. Very good shots from this Kog'Maw with his ulti, very precise. But I love the way they're playing this. Like, the blue team has very individualistic champions, but if you put them together, they form a very solid unit. You wouldn't think so, because everything they have is revolved around solo catches. You know, Elise, single target. Kale, pretty much single target. I mean, she's got the splash off her E, but that's not where the real damage comes from. Kog'Maw, single target. You would think these guys wouldn't necessarily form a very tight, cohesive unit, but they do to an astounding effect.
Ultimatum getting engaged on a little bit, and that's a very valid point. As all these champions that are strong solo queue are also even stronger when put together in a team setting. When you have the coordination to organize wombo combos and stuff, as Guster Posey is going to get engaged on, forced to flash on away. Undead Ultimatum still there. The ultimate coming out from Orianna, only going to land on 2. There's the counter Nami wave as Episauce's epic somethings, epilepsies, has to run away. There's a cataclysm from Jarvan, though, as Orianna putting the damage down. Elise picking up the kill, though. And good cookies comes in, drops her ult. Purple team needs to scatter, not after they snipe down the Nami. Dragon is up. They're still fighting for it. Tristana full HP. That's who they want. Can they get a reset or a kill? They are being very aggressive for this.
Tristana, I promise, if he does rocket jump in, you'll be totally okay. Do it.
You rocket jump into 4 members, though, and they're immediately going to focus you on down. Something you got to be careful of. But it does look like Dragon will be going on into Prestige Worldwide. Oh, the flash over. She's in a bit of a predicament. The auto attacks come down. Commander Sheep trying to do as much as he can, but Tristana picks up the kill. There's the teleport coming in from Jarvan as well. And this now not only turns into a dragon, but a couple kills in their favor.
And it was honestly kind of sloppy by Elise. The dragon had already been down by the time she flashed over. That needed to happen a good 5 seconds prior, especially with Elise having the Q, execute, and her smite. She could have gotten that if she would have went early enough.
And that's a very valid point, and one thing that you run the risk of when you do it. Do you go over? Do you try to steal it? Or do you just let it fall? And when you try to steal it, if you don't, you're going to pay with your life.
Especially with a jungler like Elise, who has no way to get back out. You know, Lee Sin, you can afford to kind of miss that. You land the Q, you jump in, oh no, ward hop back out. You're safe. Kha'Zix, kind of the same thing. He's fallen out of, real favor. And I guess even with Jarvan, you could do that. You flag in, flash back out. But with Elise, there's really only the one way in and no way out if you fail it. So that's a really higher risk, sometimes higher reward. I don't know. Guess you got to go for it when you're a good jungler, though.
If you feel confident enough in your champion, Elise, she's got the execute, she's got the damage to do it, but it was gone too fast. She wasn't able to repel on in. But Burn Flash nonetheless. And something to mention is Rune Hurricane has been finished up for the Kayle. So not only does she splash damage, but she splashes to 2 other targets on top of that small area of effect.
Yeah, that's the general Kayle build now. It's just, it used to be all about the Q nuke, and now it's just stand still in one place, ult yourself, and just smack back and forth over and over and over again. You're just trying to knock sense out of the enemy team the whole time. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's really kind of amusing to watch. But something that worries me is that
there's the Evelynn going on into the Kayle. The ultimate is going to catch 3 members. Blue team evaporates before the damage, but the Nami wave making it a turnaround as Kayle was in there shredding up as much as she can. A double kill being picked up from Tristana as she's tanking. Now turning around. Orianna picks up a kill, and it's still Syntheory who is alive. Space Deadliest secures the ace, has the rocket jump. Does he use it? Heal instead with a little bit of a juke. Saves his life, and a full ace. Prestige Worldwide securing it, and now going to be this tower. Wow, what happened?
Melt. Melt happened. That's about all I can really say about that. I guess with Jarvan going full damage right now, the Hydra plus the Black Cleaver, or not Black Cleaver, the Brutalizer, gives him so much extra damage for when Demacia comes down. But what I was gonna say immediately prior to that was that they don't really have a major tank outside of Elise outside of Evelynn right now. And that kind of worries me. When my top laner is going full damage, and my jungler is not necessarily the most tanky person, but she does have the ability to be a tank, I kind of get a little worried when I'm looking at Renekton and Kayle and Evelynn. Elise. Why am I getting these two mixed up?
Because they're both E's. And
they're both E's and they're both blue, I guess.
Yeah. If I was green, I would die, but that's a different story. As Jarvan, this is one of the customary builds. He gets the early damage and then goes into the late game tank, where Evelynn's already there because she's so fed. And if Purple Team, the Prestige Worldwide, does another team fight like that and gets that Orianna Death Ball delivery system combo onto 3 members, and they can evaporate, this game is going to be over.
Yeah, and honestly, with things going the way they are, I'm feeling more and more scared for the blue team. They do have really good scaling late game. They do have a really good tank in Renekton. They do have Kayle's ulti. But with that much wombo combo damage coming out, you have to wonder if she's really going to be able to ult in time to really save anyone important. You can ult the Renekton, fine. You can ult somebody, but if you don't ult the right person, it's a problem. And with the amount of damage coming out that Purple Team is going to have, it's going to be quick, and you've got to find the right person. You just gotta hope you have the reaction time to get to the cog ball. Because if you don't, he's gone.
That's very true, as now it's Applauses who has to walk on away as Pona Apple takes a little bit of damage. And the damage that just comes out of purple team right now, if you look at where it's at, Tristana is to her mid-game dominance. She's got the sustain with her Vamp Scepter. She's got critical chance. She has increased attack speed with her Q proc as Peter is going to get engaged on it. He's going to die as Commander Shep picks up the kill. And Tristana being so aggressive going on in, putting Nami down to half HP.
3 autos.
And it's just Inhibitor that's left.
All that's left in that mid lane is that Inhibitor, and that ought to be going down without contest right now. I mean, well, it looks like they want to give it a shot. They want to try and defend this out. I'm not sure
good cookies with great ultimate is going to be absorbing. There's the ball from Orianna. A quick double kill. Cataclysm coming in as well. Evelyn picking up another one.
They can end this right here.
And that is in a double. Evelyn picking up 2. Orianna picking up 2.
And they can end the game right here. Renekton's going to be coming up in 2 seconds, but I really don't think he can push all 4 of them off of this Nexus. That ought to be game. The GGs are coming out. Where's it going? No.
Getting a bit engaged on, but they're going to take it on down. 5 seconds for Nami, and a huge fight. That Wombo combo, as just stated, if Evelyn, Orianna combo again, they'll win the game. And that's what happened. Double Nexus explosion.
Like I said, Kale never got her ulti off for that. It was damage in, damage done, people are dead. That quick. And Kale never got to ult anyone for that. It was just, oh look, you're exploded. Pow! Goodbye. And you're off my radar. And honestly, I gotta say this ended strictly because Renekton got caught out by the Wraiths.
A quick snowball. That's all it takes. When it gets to these late game stages as Prestige Worldwide takes the victory, I mean, the Pink Dinosaur Club, they tried. Renekton gets caught out. He dies immediately. Tristana sees the opportunity to poke down Nami. They go in and take that middle inhibitor, a beautiful Wombo combo, and it's over. Quick, in a blink of an eye. That's how fast these late game fights can happen when you have coordinated teams.
And someone would kind of mention about that is, we're not even to a late game point and it was over that fast. We're at 30 minutes, 30 seconds. That's like the lowest average time of even just a regular league game. When you go to queue up, it says, you know, make sure you've got 30 to 45 minutes to play this. This is like just so much damage happened all at once that it just opened the doors. You know, Trick 2G, opened the gates. Gates were opened.
That's exactly what had happened here. I thank everyone for tuning on in. This is CompeteLeague's Silver Competitive League Qualifier. This is day number 1. Tomorrow, for any of the teams that did lose here, we'll be having the losers bracket where you have a chance to come on back. I am One Nut Wonder. Accompanying me, of course, is
Nathaniel, people. How's it going?
And please bear with us while we get the next game underway for you.